Are we recording? Okay. Hi again. It's me. I'm back. So my last video was a little bit, out there. It was a little bit, I'm not gonna mess with my hair. I was out in the woods, right? About a month or two ago, since this whole crazy ride began with everything that's gone on with the governments and everything else. So people have been telling me don't speak out against the regime right now, and I'm not. Let me tell you something. I'm actually starting to agree with a lot of this because I've seen the fraud, waste, and abuse, okay, of the system personally. And now, I had worked in an enclosed environment since the COVID for the feds, and I'm still a fed. I took the buyout thing, whatever you want to call it. I'm not retired because I'm only 40s, but I'm like, what do you call it? The reduction and the, what's it called? Can't even remember what it was called, but they made me permanent after 5 years, okay? But it has not been an easy ride. Like, I was laid off after 22 for 6 months for the deferral for the COVID loans, because my team was out of Dallas, Fort Worth, El Paso division. Shout out, how you doing down there? Hey y'all. There are some great people. They're wonderful people that I adore, and wherever you are out there, I miss you so much right now. I'm going to say a few names. I don't think they'll see my video, but Myrtle, let me see, Farida, Debbie Gibson down in Texas, El Paso. Actually, my division is El Paso, and I've been to Texas. I've only been to Dallas, and it was wonderful. I'm from Michigan, though. I'm up here in Michigan, and I'm living literally right now, paycheck to paycheck, off my retirement and trying to get another job. Now, I have sat in on the border, but I'm a bit old. I'm going to see if I could get an age waiver. Because I think I have some training and expertise they could use. I sat in on not the border patrol, we call it boots on the ground for FEMA disaster relief programs and stuff like that is what I was doing. But I was doing the work on the legal side, proving that people were who they say they are, vetting, using the LexisNexis program to, prove if somebody had 9 socials to their, I will give Elon Musk this, okay? I don't agree with everything he says or does, but I will say there is some issues with I was catching an enormous, they called me Eagle Eye. That's still my nickname, because I see things, I may not always catch it. That's why we had 2 or 3 sets of eyes on these funds and allocations, and then they moved me to the legal side of things from 22 to 2025. So I came back in end of 2022. They made me permanent. They made me a G9 step 3, which I am now. I make almost $70,000, but I'm almost homeless because my credit is bad, because I took a big car note, and I will never do that again. And actually, my car is not usable because I'm driving a loaner. And I'm going to switch around topics here because I'm a little ADHD. I'm going to switch around topics here every now and then. But I'm going to keep coming back to the centralized idea that what we need to learn and glean from Mr. Musk is there were people in China who are younger than 13 who were trying to get loans. Well, they were threat actors. What do you call them? Bad people. And there were people here. I caught some people in Iran and terrorist countries and Syria and, well, I don't know exactly the definite countries. I've been in a room somewhere for 5-10 years now on a computer, doing what I do. And I'm giving a shout out because I was at first like, okay, we shouldn't do this. I don't agree with everything. But I do agree that there was some fraud. And I actually am one of the people who figured out there was a trickle down. It started in the unemployment, and it was too easy for people to get these loans and monies, and then it trickled down to, I'm not saying everybody, I proved people were legitimate. For every person I found that wasn't legitimate, I also found people that were. Mom and pop shops, people from America who just need the help right now, And what I would do is I would say, okay, this person's cool. He only has one social, he has the right age, based off reports. Or I would find 9 EINs to one business, and that's not okay. Or I would find 10 socials on one person. Well, obviously, there are not 10 people with that same social. So, put the dots together. Okay, it's not that hard. So, and for my troubles, someone else higher up took my work and used it, and that's fine. But maybe give me some credit. Maybe pull me in. I could work at Doge. I'm a little old. I could work at, although I don't know, maybe I should go into private, or I'm going to have to make a decision real quick here, though, because I need to have work, and I need to have money, and I don't know if I can stay with the government forever at this point, because I'm living wherever I can. This is not my place. I don't know where I'm going to go next. I just keep moving, because at first I was running away from a man, and that's a different story, who I rented this townhome from. And right now I'm sounding all scattered and crazy, but where I'm trying to get to with this is the fraud, waste, and abuse is significant. And I found the trickle down into the PPP and then into the COVID loan program, right? And it wasn't all that way, but a lot of it was bad. And I proved that, you shouldn't send this money out to other countries when the money's for people like you and me with businesses and trying to, launch our lives and make our lives better here in these United States. Now, while I think all people should be granted opportunities regardless of age, race, gender, so and so, I don't think you should get things for free, or if you say you're one thing and you're not. Okay? And I can prove it. I use this system. It's a legal processing system. And it basically tells you everything, okay? And if it doesn't tell you, there are other ways to find out. And I was tracing businesses that weren't there, or finding ones that were overseas and acquiring United States funds. It wasn't good. But anyways, and I'm kind of okay to be out of it, honestly, because I gave so much of my time. My hands are all, I've got carpal a little bit, and I don't know if I'm going to pass physicals and stuff, even if I get an age waiver to go work as an officer or a legal assistant for I certainly can't be one of the guys who runs around, on the horse or something at the border. But I could be the person if they wanted, and that's why I was considering, and I sat in on a border. And also, there's one called the Old Guard on the East Coast. They seem pretty cool. They're the original, created so many hundreds of years ago in response to actually the British coming, which I'm part British, so it's funny. It's an irony there, because you realize we were almost British, the war of the revolution, and my history is crap. And I'm wandering, but let's get back to it. So I would like to be considered, but honestly, I'm so scattered right now. But I do have a really good brain, and I do know what I'm doing when it comes to a computer and to finding the anomalies, finding where, although I know AI and other systems can do it now, but honestly, you need a little bit of human touch and eyes, because I could decipher the irregularities right on the paper there from things they submitted that just didn't make any sense, right? Like it didn't match up, it didn't align. So I was doing 50 or so reports a day, pulling or more, and sometimes it was like 10 reports on one person, and it wasn't a person, it was it was a guy overseas, going like this and grabbing what he can, and it's not okay. So I would send that to the fraud division, which I worked directly under, and I really enjoyed it because I feel like I was doing a service for for my nation, for this country, and stopping the fraud, waste, and abuse. So I hope that if there are scrubbers right now looking at my stuff from Musk, and I was offered a job with SpaceX. I probably won't get it now because I did say something negative in the beginning because I didn't like what he was doing to the dismantling. But now that I look at it, I'm thinking, well, maybe some of this was necessary. Maybe some. Okay? Not all of it, but some. Okay? And I did come in under the administration in 2020, and I worked for the census, and I was really appreciative of that. Okay, under the Republicans. My grandmother was a Republican, Lois. She is still the representative and a delegate Republican, and she ran the Naval League of Detroit until she retired and got too old, and she just has become too old, and it's a fact of life. We all get older. Look at me, my eyes, I'm so tired, and I don't look like me much anymore, but I still am me, and I still have a brain here somewhere, and my degrees, and I'm glad I got my degrees when I could, because it was an opportunity that I didn't have when I was younger. I went back to school later. I was working a lot of jobs young, but I realized I wasn't going to get anywhere unless I had something more. And then I went for IT at Lawrence Tech, and that was a great experience because that school was like the UN. There were people from Saudi Arabia, my good friend Mohammed, and we would talk about religion, and he would teach me Arabic, some Habibi. Well, that's my stomach. Sorry, I'm sorry. So I'm all over, but all I'm saying is, while I don't agree with everything going on, we cannot just hand our country to foreign nations. We cannot just hand over everything we have to people who look at us and think we're dumb and lazy or stupid. And they don't even hide it. And I'm going to send a report to the current administration if they'll take it. I wrote a letter and have compiled some information from personal experience with the Chinese, and I don't have anything against Asian people. Please do not get me wrong. This is such a two-edged sword right now because you've got like a lot of inherent racism, and we need to talk about this, people. I know they want to silence people, but we need to have some forums to speak on this. because it isn't all or nothing, it isn't black or white, you know? There's a gray area in between, okay? But what I did notice is Chinese billionaires come in, and many of them are from the upper political regime that was actually formed by the Triad, which are gangsters. So I'm sorry, but it's true. And I've been persecuted by a gentleman who owns over 200 to 300 properties. And I don't know. I mean, it's okay to own a certain amount of properties, but I see these large conglomerates from China that come in, they'll buy a whole city of condos and townhomes, and they will badmouth Americans, persecute Americans, and tell us we're stupid, and you're in this country, you're not in, and we don't get to do that. We can't even chew gum or take a poster off your wall, and you put us in jail in your country. So why is it okay for you to come here? Anyways, I get off on and then I'm going to seem like I'm saying things that I don't mean, when all I'm really trying to say is we can't just hand it all over. Well, I don't agree with some of the policies and practices. I'm not completely adverse to the thought that what the heck happened to being proud of your country and serving your country and doing greater for the nation and giving your all to this nation and not allowing another foreign entity to usurp that and take our rights, our monies, our freedoms, and badmouth us to our faces, and then and it's just. So I have some proof, and where I was situated in Michigan, they had paid the HOA off to look the other way. They were using the lawn crews. I know this sounds crazy, and it is, to be really difficult and an annoyance to those who are not from China. And I have no problem if you want to invest, but do not invest and then use it as a way to subjugate and to ridicule those who helped you come here and invest in this. And it's not an investment. They were doing this in BC and Vancouver, buying whole islands of Canada, to the point where Canada said, whoa, we're going to have to do an act or a law here that you can only take so much of this land. You know, we're not allowed to go over there or to different places, not all places, and buy a whole island, buy a whole community, and put our stuff down there and then ridicule them and then be like, you're stupid and lazy and you don't know what you're doing and we're so much more advanced than you. I mean, I'm not saying these people aren't intelligent. They are very intelligent, those who have made this money, who have done these things, but don't use it to persecute an American on American soil. I'm sorry. And I wouldn't have seen this for myself had I not lived in a community where I was made to feel this way, and I felt threatened, and I went to my local authorities, and even they and the council were paid. And I don't have that kind of money, okay? Even if I did, I wouldn't do these things. And it's like, so I'm sorry, but I kind of agree with it now, and I will take my licks on this video and then get back to the part here where I just say, I'm older now, and I don't agree with all of it, but we cannot give it all away. I mean, it's not acceptable. And I really would like to go and work in the private sector now, or maybe the state level again, or even with the federal government again, in some capacity if they would have me, even though I'm still federal. But, you know, I can work another job while on my leave, so I'm looking at options. As an American citizen, by birthright, coming from the type of family background I've come from, which is somewhat political, and, Reagan and all of that, it was before my time a little bit, but, he realized this was going on. Iran-Contra, and he didn't allow it. And a lot of people loved Reagan. They just loved him. A lot of people didn't. I get it. So, again, you take the good and the bad, Every president has good and bad, all right? No matter what you say, and no one's perfect, and I'm certainly not. Obviously, look at me. I look like, I don't know, and my hair's all crazy, but whatever. Drinking coffee at, 7 o'clock at night? I don't know. My father worked in financials. My father was an amazing accountant, but he made some really big mistakes. And he did some things he shouldn't have done. And he paid for it, and we paid for it, and I'm still kind of paying for it. But, I hope that my service and what I've tried to do for my nation and for businesses in this country, for the legitimate mom and pops, for the American citizens, and those who come here legally, that's what I did. I just said, okay, you're legit. Here you go. You can do this, or this person is not. He's, or they are 13 or 100, or they're dead. How does a dead person... I can't. Okay, so, let's get off all that. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I had said some negative things about Mr. Musk. And he's a little bit out there, and he's a billionaire and all that. And not everything is right, but he took my work and what's the word? Made it make sense. That I wasn't wrong. So it's like, while I'm unhappy about what happened, at the same time I'm like, well, it kind of proved that I was right. And I got a lot of slack at times for telling people, well, this person's not who they say they are, and here's 7 ways to, I hope I could say his name, Kevin Bacon kind of thing. Like, can you connect the dots? Because sometimes if you can't, then you say, why can't I connect the dots? And you say, this is why. Because they're not who they say they are. And in this world of technology and online and everything, rocking along with the AI and everything, you still need a human touch. You need someone like me or anybody who actually gives a whatever to say, the system is telling you the truth here, and this person is not where they say they are, and they don't own this business or whatever. And you're like, what are you talking about here? I'm just saying, think about it. And I hope that the next time I'm on here for my video, I look better, and I'm somewhere safe, and I'm permanent, and I'm really just trying to get back on my feet. And it's difficult. It's difficult, and I'm worried. I am worried. I don't like to see people in cages. I'm not speaking out against anyone, but I don't like to see people persecuted, because everybody has rights, inherent rights. But if you trample on my rights, or anyone's rights, it's not okay. Maybe we can work with the countries who appreciate and value us, and then tell the other ones, just go work with someone else, and that's essentially what this admin's doing. It's like, you are okay. You're not trying to denigrate, take from us, usurp us, destroy us from within. And I see that going on with certain countries that should not be doing that. Okay? Here. Okay? okay? I'm just gonna say it, okay? And then we should work with those who do value and appreciate what there is to offer here, you know? There is commonality. There is years of working together for the greater good. And I still believe in that. But there are so many that devalue what so many of us are. I'm a DAR too, a daughter of the American Revolution. Like, I am a great whatever of somebody who came over on a Mayflower, okay, on the boat that, hit the rock in Plymouth. And that's maybe why I have this crazy hair. Because I don't know much about it. I just know that they came here to escape tyranny and a king. Well, actually, the Mayflower was sent by the king, but before that, it was the French king, the English French king, who drove people from England, who were the first ones who came over. And though it didn't work out for everybody who was here, unfortunately, although I hope that we've worked for some commonality there as well, because I have a lot of Native American friends, people I talk to, and I love the workmanship, the craftsmanship, the dancing, the belief in nature and not wanting to poison the earth. I'm all for that. It's a disgrace, the things that have happened. And I just want to see this world work itself out. I just want to see us get some civility in these dark times. I want to see... Need some water. I want to see this nation become great again. And by whatever means necessary, because I have seen this nation rise from the ashes. And we can do it again. I don't know when or how, but I haven't given up yet. Now, when I give up, you'll know. Those of you who might watch this video, maybe nobody will see this video. I don't really care. I am just expressing myself and venting and saying a little bit of what many are feeling and maybe many are not. It depends on where you come from, what you think, and your beliefs. I don't want to see a democracy destroyed, though. The true Republicans, the first Republicans, were for freedom, the freedom fighters. They dumped the tea in the harbor. They said no to tyranny, no to the feudal lords, no to the kings and these mercenaries coming over to destroy us and take our lands. No. And I don't want to see that with a foreign invader ever again. I don't want to see it from China, England, nobody. No kings. Among men, there is no one greater than God. There shall be no golden idols. Now I'm like doing a preach thing. Anyways, I gotta get off here because I'm just gonna say stuff that I'm gonna regret. And freedom of speech is tenuous right now. I really hope in the next 6 months or a year that we can settle down a little and start to reason this out some, because I believe in facts and statistics and law and things I can see and not see below the surface, but pull it together to paint a picture. Paint a picture of what is really going on and get the truth based on facts and information. And I think that's why they reopened Mr. Elon to continue what he's doing, which it's none of my business. Some of it worthwhile. Just, I wish they would kind of maybe not be so brutal to those of us who didn't have as many breaks and are just trying to live a life and survive here in this world. And I don't want to have to leave my country. I had to go see my grandma because she's 90 something and she's going to pass, and she's actually in Windsor, Canada, and I'm actually Nordic, Irish, Scottish. I call myself Euro, whatever. But can you see that? I mean, that's obvious. Green eyes, red hair. British, 75% British, Anglo-Saxon. So if you want to talk about feudalism, I know a little bit from what people from my English side have told me. No, we weren't the higher ups either. We were not the Tofts. We didn't get all the. We didn't have the. We were in the Domesday Book. It's the oldest census in all the lands of England. It was the first census ever taken of the land, and it was done by a feudal lord. He wanted to know how much land everybody had. He wanted to know how much he had. He wanted to know how much stock and oxen and whatever, and land and gold and whatever. But there's too much classism. There's too much. It's classism. It's my grandpa came and built his house and came here he came to Canada for a better life. Because you couldn't really rise above in the feudal system in England, especially in the 50s, 60s, and before that. And it's still not easy, and it's hard to make a living over there. And Canada, I like Canada, don't get me wrong, but they're a little bit like, it's a mix of what's going on, because like I feel like in some ways they're backwards, but they're also ahead. So I can't explain it, and I'm part Canadian. I have couple uncles in Canada. I am not Canadian. I have a birth certificate. I was born here. Okay. No, there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. So all this stuff going on is kind of hard for me with family in all these different countries. Oh, I'm German too. Dad was from the North Forest of Bavaria. So it's like Bavarian, Nordic, Norseman. I'm going to let my hair stay long because I feel like it's my tradition. I mean, it's gotten really long. It's my tradition now. Maybe I'll start braiding it and like do the braids and stuff. You know, it's crazy. I'm all over the map here. It's just really nice to talk to people and get a message out there. As a doctoral researcher and as a person with some degrees and some knowledge of politics and diplomacy and history, we have to protect what we fought so hard to create. I just don't want to see it destroyed by any faction, whether in this country or outside of it. I don't want to see us break in a divide. I don't want to see this. So, where am I going with this? In this video, it's just a commentary. It's not educational. It's not anything research. It's just me telling my people who might stumble upon this that we are all in this. And we cannot lose sight of the greater goal. And that's protecting, serving, creating, and being visionaries and, truthful people, logical people, civil people, people who are not going to allow certain things to happen inside these walls of this country. And I won't go any further as to politics. I never cared for them. I have only tried to provide for my loved ones. My mom has been very sick. I am not great. I am I'm okay. I'm actually pretty healthy. I'm actually the thinnest I've been. Let me see. I gotta look, see how I look. Okay. Oh. I'm sticking to the chair. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm like 165 and 5'7". I'm not a little girl, but I was like almost 400 pounds because I had injuries and things from when I worked multiple physical jobs. I wasn't always a tech person. Wasn't always in front of a computer or wherever. And I'm probably going to go back to an office again, I hope, somewhere, whether for country or for private. Boots on the ground is fine. I could work, with the National Guard or the CBP or the OFO or the DOJ or the DFAS. They offered me something once before. And just, and I can be boots on the ground, like I said, down with FEMA. But I am older, and I don't know if I can do that. For border, they want you to run a mile and a half under a certain amount of time. You have to go down to New Mexico and train for like 6 months, which you're paid for. So if you're under 40 and you're pretty good, healthy shape, you could sign up. If you don't want to work the Southwestern, like I said, there's the old patrol. The, what was the name of it? Maine, East Coast. If I remember it, I'll post it. It's the something sector, the Holton sector. The Holton sector, East Coast Defense. We're the first border, right? Like I said, against the British. And then we have borders at the Canadian Detroit and Sarnia and New York, Niagara, Washington State, anywhere you have a border. That would make sense, right? I also like the Coast Guard, but again, I am no spring chicken. So I'd have to have an age waiver if they would have me, and maybe do legal or civilian, federal, administrative, legal. My fraud work could come in handy for somebody. So I'm just putting it out there. If you come across my video and you're looking for somebody like me, even the States, like I would work, my half-brother told me, why don't you try, he heard that the states, I could go to Michigan or to any state that needs someone with my training and expertise in the federal government. So if you're out there and you have a state, I'm looking at you, Michigan and Maine, I'm willing to relocate, and I can, pull reports, upload docs, look for anomalies, and run sensitive information and use different programs I've been trained on, and deal with large data sets, large sets of numbers. I know this is really boring probably for people listening to this, but it doesn't hurt it doesn't hurt for me to put it out there and tell people, what I can provide them. I need to have some work done when I can. But first I have to work on this living situation. These lovely people let me stay here, and I don't know where I'd be right now. I don't have a home right now. I'm on the run, sort of. No, I'm not on the run, but like I was on the run from the Chinese guy who I had, I paid almost $1,800 a month for 2 years, and it was bad. I was finding some stuff going on there that was not okay, and I never would have expected it in my own hometown. A conglomerate syndicate. I can't really prove it. I have footage of things that went on. I would be followed, and I didn't do anything. I did nothing. I just was working for my government, for the United States, and you're in this country persecuting me, and I'm paying you? I don't know where I'm going to be, but I know this. We can't allow tyranny of any kind. So I'm not happy about how it came to be, but I am going to say that the Dems let me down. They did. Because while you want to save everybody and give everybody a chance and be the peacekeepers, you can't give it all away. You can't be like, here, take everything. Mock our citizens. Just don't believe in our beliefs or values. If I went to their country and did that, I would be in a stockade. You would not see me again. And this is the truth. Did anybody see Robert Redford and Brad Pitt in Spy Games? Where Redford is a U.S. agent retiring and has to use his retirement to go get Brad Pitt, who's a spy, who's been picked up by the Chinese out of a Chinese prison, and the U.S. government leaves him there, okay? Yeah, see that movie, okay? Because it's eye-opening. And then I see a boy go over there to teach English or something, or teach whatever, and he takes a poster down, and he goes to jail there, and then they finally release him a year or so. I don't know how long he was there. I'd have to look up who the boy was. A young man. And they release him. He comes back here a week later. He's dead. He's dead because of the mistreatment, the malnourishment, the torture. And they do this to the regime there does this to their own people. So why are we allowing them to come here and do it to us? No. And I'm sorry to my friends who are Asian. I really am. To my ex-chemo and to my friend who I worked with, who the Chinese woman she worked for was holding her visa. And she was one of her own country people. Sally Chen, wherever you are out there, I hope you're okay. This is eye-opening, people. Come on, wake up. So they're not completely wrong here. I don't agree with all of it, but I'm looking for a better circumstance, for change, for positivity, and for growth, and to go on and do whatever I'm going to do, whether it be in the public sector, the private sector, the government sector, the educational sector. I love education. Education is my thing, man. Okay? It just makes me really sad. But I'm positive. I'm positive for the future. As an American, as a woman, I'm positive. I hope it can get better. I really do, because if it doesn't, well, then where are we? Till then, next time, take it easy.